I find that funny.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party successfully returned to their encampment, regrouping with the war front, and are happily regrouped with the Tibadran forces that had gone off to attend to His Majesty's errands. The first group have successfully returned with the firearms from Wyson, and supplied the army with some firearms to somewhat level the gunpowder playing field between the Alliance and Barbarous. In the meanwhile, the scouting force that was checking out the knolls at this apparent dig site in the desert also have returned. However, their report will be heard in the morning. In the meanwhile, Lucian and Zephyr, after a difficult conversation, are returning to Rosewick to interrogate Dr. Knight on the specifics of the Ichor that she may or may not be sharing. However, upon arriving, a distressed Lucian and Sundragon were simply given refreshers on what they had already been told. The Ichor, as much as Kaloum would say otherwise, is not something to be cured. It is simply a device of creation. And Dr. Knight has warned Lucian that her Ichors will only continue to grow worse as she continues to reject aspects of her shared souls. But
Hello? Yeah, you are cutting out really bad. I'm not hearing anything from Matt. Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry, my computer must have frozen
There
up there.
you are.
He lives again.
Right after you started saying about the internal struggle with Lucian. That's
yes.
like the last thing I heard.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, computer froze. I was just saying that, the internal struggle with Lucian will only continue to get worse and worsen the contagion if Lucian does not come to grips with the aspects of herself and make peace with them. As Dr. Knight herself discovered when you guys rescued her, the Ichor is not a solution, nor is it a disease. It simply is. Much as you all now simply are.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you should be. Kidding. With that, as Zephyr sleeps soundly in Rosewick Castle, and Sundragon and Lucian turn to the bottom of a bottle, that is where we pick back up. With that, Lucian, is there anything specific you'd like to do beyond just drinking the night away with Sundragon?
I'm just gonna spend my time with her. I wanted to see if she would be up to maybe a little something dangerous.
All right, noted. As the two of you make your way to Rosewick Castle, while Sundragon is not recognized, you are, and the guards give you very little trouble, as mentioned, in simply allowing you to pass. And as you make your way down into the now somewhat familiar cellar and begin digging through the wine stores. What dangerous thing exactly do you proposition Sundragon with?
I'll just I'll sit with like my own little elven wine and just be like, so I think that Caleb's dad is a bad guy.
You think? As she holds up one of the Tabadrin drinks and kind of looks it over curiously and shakes it before shrugging and uncorking it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but not to Caleb. So I was going to proposition us going maybe over to see if we can't find him.
She kind of
Nobody's
furrows her
looking
brow.
for him right now, but
I thought he was dead.
that's what they wanted everybody to think. But I saw him when we were fighting with the king. He's the marksman guy.
I thought his dad was the king.
Okay, how much don't you know right now? Because you're like way behind.
She kind
The
of rolls her
king-
eyes and
The king adopted Caleb. Caleb has a different dad. I forget what his name is. Honestly, I don't really care. He's a bad guy. That's all I know.
She kind of snorts a little
King
bit.
mine.
Gives you a half-hearted glare that it's mostly playful. However, you can see a slight tint of seriousness to it, as in response to your how much how you're behind comment, kind of wiggles her drink bottle at you as she sips from it.
I sip from
And
mine
whose
as
fault
well.
is that? None of you tell me shit.
Yeah, that's fair. We, honestly, I just get wrapped up in things, and then things happen way too fast sometimes.
But
We were supposed to kill the king, but guess what? I kind of made him into a cool Igor guy.
oh, nice.
You know how Dr. Knight was saying it was kind of like impossible to have 3 souls? I kind of did that.
Shows what doctors know. As she takes a swig.
I mean, technically, I guess that would make me a doctor.
She kind of tilts her head, like you can see the I don't think that's how it works thought running through her head before she just shrugs and shakes her head.
Shit-eating grin, just drinking her wine.
Okay, so you think his bio dad is up to something and you want to find him?
He's like the Wolf of Wall Street or something like that. Sorry, I am high as a kite right now, and I am having
need
trouble.
To play sober once in a while.
I am having literal trouble remembering what his nickname was, and all I could remember was that it was like Wolf something.
Let's have Sundragon make a history roll. Inspiration, what's his?
I'm sorry.
She furrows her brow and leans forward. Wait, the Wolfhound?
That's it.
You think Caleb's dad is the Wolfhound?
I don't think it, sweetheart. I saw him. We made eye contact.
She approaches you and puts a hand on your shoulder and smiles at you. Lou, the Wolfhound's been around for centuries.
Yeah, do you know what that would imply? And also,
you've had a bit too much to drink?
Well, I haven't had enough to drink to make that kind of accusation, thank you. But,
apparently.
I mean, he is a pretty old. I mean, he's not as old as me, but for a human. No offense.
She just rolls her eyes.
Maybe we can get that vampire girl to bite you, and then you can live forever with me.
Nah, I'm good. She takes another swig and leans against the shelf.
I mirror her, but I take a long.
As she kind of watches
Sorry, my phone started ringing.
No worries. Yeah. She kind of watches the swirl of her drink in the bottle idly before raising an eyebrow to you. Look,
I think that we need to find this. I'm just saying that we need to find this wolfhound guy because I think he's following us.
Now that
And that's why
I do believe.
I brought you because I thought, I don't know if he's like after us, and if we're like, individualing ourselves, it's like good for, an ambush,
You said you brought me because you needed me to rattle Dr. Knight's skull.
I said I needed protection.
She narrows her eyes at you and you can see her nostrils flare. What else aren't you telling me?
It's the truth of it. Honestly. I thought I would have to get rough with Dr. Knight because I thought that maybe she had been lying about everything, but what she says, I think, is what she really means. And I'm glad that I helped her see herself. Everything that I saw down there just didn't make any sense to me. Everything that Barbarous is doing, they're treating it like nothing good. They want to turn everything into just humans, but they're taking everything that's special away from everybody. And I wish I didn't see how many people had died and how many people had been suffering because of this Icar. And I just needed to know if she was not a part of that.
She kind of pinches the bridge of her nose, but kind of collects herself before looking back at you. All that matters is that we stopped it. At least here. We can't be everywhere at once, but we're trying.
We have to continue to stop it, Aggie, because he's going to try and try and try. And Kaloum is helping him, and that is not good. And this stuff in Kaloum's hands, I'm scared. And Lucifer is supposed to be like an expert in it. I'm like, excuse me, you're copying me, but
didn't he help get it first?
Yeah, you're
by
right.
nature, you're copying him.
You're not coming with me to go to him. You're just gonna start something here. You know that, right? I just take a big drink.
I start something with everyone. That's what I do.
In seriousness, I want it out of his claws.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to stop it. We can't do more than that. You're starting to do it again. You're burrowing into your own head. You haven't even been happy for an hour yet.
I'm scared that this wolfhound guy might be a part of it somehow. And that he's just going to drag our Caleb into something horrible. And that Caleb is going to have the same fate as me.
How so?
You know I have to kill Lucy, right?
So?
I don't want that for Caleb.
She puts a hand on your shoulder and leans back and kind of stares at the lantern on the wall. Lou, I know Caleb. At least I like to think I know him fairly well. He doesn't tell me a lot, but he's a lot like me at that age, just sneakier. Honestly, have you talked to him about this?
I'm afraid he won't hear me. They don't like to hear me talk anyway, so what's the
Then
point?
I'll do it.
Really?
And you'll see that you have nothing to worry about. And she kind of nudges your swaying head slightly. Besides, knowing you, you probably already got an answer and it didn't do anything for you. Maybe hearing it again will sink it in.
I'm not
Because if I know Caleb half as well as I think I know what he's going to say. She kind
He's
of
gonna say
clears
he
her
doesn't
throat.
believe us.
She kind of clears her throat and does like a very haughty looking posture. If my father comes between me and my kingdom, I'll kill him. Something like that, probably.
Yeah, that's something similar to the reaction that I got, but it still worries
So you
me.
did talk to him about it.
I still worry. I'm sorry. I just don't want him to have to do that. I wouldn't want that for anybody.
Nobody wants that, Lou, but it's a mess all of us are in.
It takes in a very aggressive drink.
But you're not making anything better by refusing to accept answers when they're given to you. You've been fighting this same battle with yourself for months, and every time I think maybe you've finally accepted it and are making progress, I look back and you haven't moved.
Like I said, I'm not trying to be stubborn.
It's not about what you're trying to do, it's about what you're doing. Trust me.
I'm-
She takes a drink herself.
I'm trying. And now that I've heard it again, I don't know. Maybe I can connect with myself or whatever.
I hope so. I sometimes forgot to go back to my roots too. I know it's not the same, but I kind of do get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. After Mom left, I kind of got stuck between whether I was a sun dragon or whether I was a blackthorn. I always said that I was a blackthorn if I wanted to be, but I always felt like more of a sun dragon. Now, I find out that Mom was Minlusian, which just throws a new third confusing thing into the mix. I always admired the Minlusians. Now, I don't know.
It's hard to.
Point is, I get it. Feeling like you're being torn in different directions and you're not even sure what blood's running through you anymore. But, like I said, and she spreads her arms to gesture to herself. Sundragon, Blackthorn, Minloose, does it matter? I'm
No.
me.
Yeah.
You've been given a choice, Lucian. Freedom that the rest of us don't get. Don't waste it. And she takes a drink before slotting the bottle back into its slot, kind of sloppily, but at least attempting to be clean.
I'm not done with my bottle.
She kind of gives you a sad look before shaking her head and taking a seat on the stairs. All right, finish up and I'll get us a spot at the inn.
I'm almost done. I
She
think I
doesn't look
just
like
need
she
to
believes
think.
you, but she doesn't press the matter.
I think I just need to think, or maybe not think.
She snorts a little bit, but leans back.
Well, it's easy for you to snort at that. I can't just not think. My brain doesn't work that way.
Can't be that hard. Just think of nothing.
Yeah, but think of my mind like the Tieshan Express is always moving very fast.
It has to come into a station eventually. Besides,
Austin.
I think, yeah, Austin, some stuff's coming in through your mic. Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
got stuff coming through.
Thank you. But she pops open an eye to you, Lucian, and snorts. Besides, I think Caleb proved the Tieshan Express could be stopped if they really wanted to.
Yeah, but do you see how much it took to do that, though?
What? A couple Tabadrins and scary words?
Yeah, a couple of drinks, I'll be fine.
She rolls her eyes, but seeing that she's not going to get anywhere, just lays her head back down.
I'm sorry. Should I stop?
I'd be a hypocrite if I told you you shouldn't be doing that sort of thing, but
It's not. I know I'm not gonna find the answers at the bottom of the bottle, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't. Like I said, it just quiet, sit down.
sure Dr. Knight could give you some kind of, I don't know, herb or something for that instead of this.
Oh, I love tea, but
I mean, like herbs, Lou, medicine.
oh, yeah. Do you want to come see her with me?
I already did it once. Besides, she seems sweet.
She is very nice. So I was like not wanting for drastic measures, but
Oh yeah, you brought me along to be the, what's it called? The, carrot?
maybe I just wanted to meet my mom. She corks the wine.
As far as first meetings can go, I've done worse.
I think she likes you. It's fine.
She strikes me as the sort to like everyone. Alright.
She like me, liked everybody but herself, and I can understand that on a very personal level.
Yeah. She doesn't elaborate much further, but does stand up and kind of dust herself before. Well, let's find ourselves a bed in town. You want to give... What?
You go first.
I was just going to say, do you want to give Zeph that letter before we leave?
Yeah, I'm sure he's somewhere in this castle.
Pretty sure that's what it is. She gives an amused smile.
Depends on who you ask. Let's go find him.
She snorts but nods and allows you past her up the stairs before following behind you, seeming intent on catching you if you drunkenly stumble.
I just run up the stairs, but I miss like one step. It just cracks up.
While delivering the letter, do you wish to just leave it for Zephyr to find, or actually wake him up to give it to him?
Oh, I mean, if he's asleep, I'll I'll slide it under the door.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to disturb the poor boy. Growing boy needs his Asleep, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. He is only 9.
He is asleep. I don't want to
Is
wake
that
him.
in Alien Kobold?
He's like a perfectly functional adult.
Little boy needs to sleep. Let's go.
All right. Zephyr, already asleep in the castle. Agnes guides you to the Bear Lodge, and while she does offer payment whenever Miezdu sees you and the state you're in, he just wait.
I missed you. Hey, Miezdu, what's up?
Glad to see I'm not going out of business anytime soon. And she looks to Agnes, kind of quirks a brow questioningly at her, but seeing that you don't seem concerned with her presence, gives a shrug, and your room
He is
should still be
with
open.
me. Not with me. I hope someday, but you know what
He just kind of stares at you nonplussed.
I mean. Let's go put that shit down and then go see Dinah.
And we can go see her in the morning. She's gonna be busy packing anyway.
Oh, true. Good point. I am a little sleepy.
I bet. All right. As you all hunker down at your individual spots, you all get a long rest.
Woo! Spells.
All right. Zephyr. As you awaken in your room in the castle, everything has been left entirely undisturbed. But you haven't been away long enough for the dust to be bothersome. And you are left largely to your own devices to peacefully wake up at your leisure. The only thing you notice out of place is a letter that has been slid under the doorway sometime during the night. What do you wish to do? You're muted if you're talking. Okay, there you go.
Just also thinking, like, my first thought process was destroy the letter. Okay.
No!
Yeah, just assume it's
It
anthrax.
it could be a trap, you know?
Very true.
Nah, I guess I will, I will examine the letter.
You can see that the letter itself is largely unremarkable and is stamped with a Tabadran seal. Do you open it and read what's within?
I shall.
Opening up the letter, you see the curly and crooked handwriting of Dr. Knight. My dearest Zephyr, I doubt you want to be hearing much of anything from me, and for that I can't say I exactly blame you. I know I've done awful things to you and to your family, and you notice a blob of ink where you estimate there to have been a pause. I know you probably don't think of them as your friends or your family, but whatever they are to you, I can never apologize enough for that. I doubt I could ever say enough for it to be good enough for you, and honestly, I don't think I deserve it to be. I'm writing you this to tell you that I'll be leaving Yav soon. I know it makes no difference to you, but I'll be out there if you or any of you need anything from me. I'll always come back if you need me. You may not think of me as family, but you're family to me. And because I think you need to hear it, even if it doesn't mean anything to you. I know that there's good in your soul, in both of them. The others may not see it. Maybe even you don't. But I know it's there. You're a good boy, Zephyr. Don't let the world, people in it, or even you try and tell you different. Keep your nose clean and your hands to yourself. If you need me, I'm just a message spell away. Regards, Dr. Knight. The letter is relatively short. She appears to have just simply written it quickly, just getting her thoughts out and then sending it your way. You're not sure if she dropped it off or if someone else did, but what do you wish to do?
Well, first things first. I wish to burn the letter.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Yep. Zephyr, staring impassively at the letter for a moment as you take it in. You fold it back up, close it, and approaching the fireplace. Do you have a tinderbox?
I
Believe you do.
think I do.
Oh yeah, you don't. You have so many fucking bags of holding, dude.
Well, one of them technically I don't have at the moment. I just kind of never took it off because I do.
Put it in the fireplace.
Well, no, the fireplace is fine.
Yeah, it's by morning time, yeah. But I'll save, like, yeah, you'll need to find an actual fire, but yeah, you can burn it at your earliest convenience. I figured you, if anyone, would have one.
It would be helpful to have go well with my stuff.
So, keeping the letter on hand, but intending to burn it later. Is there anything else you wish to do?
Well, under the fact that it's already shown that I need it, I guess I'll go get a tinderbox.
Alright. So you head back into town for some shopping. Noted. Caleb and Watsis.
Yes.
As the morning comes, you can see that the day awaiting you is, thankfully, after a few bouts of bad weather over the previous few weeks, is relatively peaceful. The war camp simply attends to their various errands. you can see that Caleb's scouting force is gathered in the center of the camp and is presumably talking about whatever they found out there to the rest of the camp, who's just listening for entertainment, basically. But as the two of you awaken, you can see the camp itself is quiet and peaceful, just the ambient chatter of everyone. Sundragon and Lucian appear to have not returned, nor has Zephyr. But they did warn Caleb that they might be away for a couple days, so. The air is, for Yav, a respectable warm.
By that you mean what, like 60 degrees?
That's pretty generous.
50 degrees.
But thankfully there is no wind and even less wind chill. You are left with a... it's above freezing, let's put it that way.
You're probably expecting me to say something about wind chill, but I have no idea how wind chill works, so...
Well, I'll mark that in a column. But yes, there's no wind, everything is peaceful and quiet. What do the two of you wish to do?
Well,
No wind, huh?
Caleb is going to start his day by getting the scouting party and having them give him a report and all that.
Alright, noted. What will you be doing?
He will gather them at his tent.
So, I know this is probably a rhetorical question. We've already made it clear that we're willing to kill inhabitants in the city to win this fight.
Caleb has said that. However, Sundragon has made it clear she is not cool with that.
We haven't actually done anything like that yet.
Can I go check in the forest? I want to go foraging.
Okay, what you looking for?
Nightlock.
Oh, this came up in the last session, so I'll throw the bone. One of the things Caleb discovered from interviewing the prisoners you guys rescued and interrogated was that Tauradonna has one of the best aquifer systems in Yav because they brought it from overseas. So poisoning the water supply isn't really an option.
No, I'm not poisoning water supply. I remember something specific you told me about when I picked up all those poisons for summer. You specifically said Nightlock was a chemical warfare weapon-based item that you have, where they would feed it to animals, let it rot a little bit, and catapult it into the city, and that would cause disease and poison to spread as chemical warfare.
Like a true Gyogrin.
Yep. Okay.
So go for the water.
First we need Nightlock, then we need animals to poison, then we need catapults.
He'll just fly it over the city.
Didn't we just get a catapult?
No, you got a cannon.
Yeah, the cannon will
different.
probably... It'll just rain cow parts over the city.
Yeah, we get awful poisoned cow parts.
So it's survival.
Yes.
They say that, but catapult will
20,
just
19.
make the animals splat.
Yeah, but at least they get into the city.
It holds some degree of integrity.
Integrity.
Look, me and Matthew know cannon.
Integrity, son. This is war.
Oh my god. That's not what I meant. Oh, wait.
Yeah, so what's his survival?
It was a natural 20, so 19.
The negatives apply to natural 20s.
No, crit
Technically, no.
20 succeeds no matter what, just as a nat 1 fails no matter what.
Or in his case, it'd be a net 0.
If it had been a natural one, I would have actually found good berries.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Nightlock, and then.
And then everyone thinks that berry he picked is bad, and so everyone winds up eating the actual Nightlock.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
wouldn't that be a way to end this? Alright, what's his? Struck by inspiration. The Gyogran god looks fondly upon you as you kind of take a look around camp before heading off into the forest, intent on finding poisons.
I hope you
spread throughout the
know
city.
how pissed off Lucian and Sun Dragons are gonna be when they get home.
They don't know anything.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
The only one who knows anything right now is what's his.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a soon to be unfortunate city.
Mm-hmm.
But be happy. He's only aiming for the ramparts, not the main parts of the city.
He's only aiming for parts of the city. Wow. You're so gracious and kind.
Yeah, he is.
You know,
Oh my
like,
God.
it's funny, one of my D&D groups was like, oh, like, we're probably going to do a lot of war crimes, so you should probably keep a tally of our war crimes, and they didn't do, like, really any. This party, we've already had, oh, let's turn a train into a bomb.
Hey. We didn't actually do that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, the fact that it was considered seriously. And now fucking
Hey.
let's launch fucking
Also,
chemical
this was
bomb.
like fucking like early Renaissance. There weren't rules to war at this time.
Yeah, but we're modern
There is
players,
no-
so we can look on it.
Yeah, there is no Geneva Convention here.
Yeah, Geneva
Only a
hasn't been invented
checklist.
yet.
Geneva hasn't been invented yet.
They will after this.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys are gonna be
I'm
the
making
reason.
a checklist.
They're
Out of
gonna be
this.
known as the Osli conventions.
It is
It's
canon
gonna be
now.
a fucking.
It is canon.
They're gonna call the chemical warfare like laws against that is gonna be called the fucking what's.
It's gonna be called Nyathlosli. Don't be an asshole.
What's his? You make your way out into the forest and begin to search.
Man, I feel like this is really bad timing to be talking about war crimes.
Yeah,
Right?
Come on, man. Making your way out into the forest. It doesn't take you too long before searching through some berry bushes. You manage to find some familiar looking berries. Nightlock, aka Deadly Nightshade.
Related to tomatoes, funny enough.
That's why I hate tomatoes.
I love tomatoes.
Having found what you're looking for, you feel the blessing of Gyogran War course through your veins as you begin to fill your hands and then eventually your pockets with handfuls and handfuls of these horrendously deadly berries. Already picturing the carnage you'll be able to unleash on the conscripts.
I will be very careful not to crush them, so I don't get any
course.
of that on myself.
Yeah, of course, yeah, natural 20 survival, I assume, don't worry.
Yeah, just specifying.
I appreciate it. I'm just saying, don't worry. That's the sort of thing I would leave up to the dice, but I do appreciate the specification, yes.
I will not be the one falling into the city. Intentionally.
Yeah, anytime somebody in the fucking Alliance army dies, you just feed them Nightshade and then launch them.
It's a worthy sacrifice.
Be
I
gay,
am out
you
for
crime.
blood.
Yeah, what's his? You gather up handfuls of deadly Nightshade, and I like to imagine you're just giving the fucking wickedest grin
Yes.
as you fill your pockets with poison and prepare your latest weapon.
Pockets full of.
I need
poison.
art. I need art of what is just like hunched over, with like one of those like Grinch grins, just stuffing his pocket full of Nightlock. I need this art.
Yeah, and let me just say what's is. As the person who plays the guy who used to invent Gyogre's weapons, Kaloon would be proud.
Oh no! Why would you say that?
As much as I hate that, are we talking about the original Gloom or the imposter Gloom?
Maybe
Yes.
you better call me.
Yes. His response is yes.
Well, my response actually is, what imposter?
I will accept it regardless. But how many did I get for an idea to put in my inventory?
They are berries, so they're pretty small.
How much of our army could he kill if they got into it?
Here,
Just put it in a
Sundragon's gonna come back and half her people are dead.
I just play barrel roulette. Put something in one wine barrel. Those would be the sacrifices.
I'll say you're able to get about 8 pounds.
Oh, what?
Like a third of the army?
No, that's only enough to kill like 4 people. Caleb.
Yes.
You approach the storytelling to Badrins as they report what they had seen, presumably embellishing it for the crowd. You can see the man raise his arms to indicate something huge before he sees your approach and kind of clears his throat and tries to look professional. You can see that the scout you're talking to is a human man with silvery gray hair, definitely on the older side, a mutton chops but no beard, silvery gray hair kept underneath a crooked and tattered top hat, wearing a relatively nice cloak, although it's more practical. It is somewhat fashionable, but it's also fairly practical. Relatively to Badrin middle class. And you can see he is actually one of the men who has a new gun slung over his shoulder. It appears that he's trusted to be a decent enough shot. And he gives a respectful bow of his head as you approach, looking at you with these kind of wicked, silvery blue eyes. Majesty.
I was hoping to be able to talk to you and the rest of the scouts about what you saw.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
What is your name?
He gives a smile and holds out a hand. Makaja.
I have a
Well
cool
met.
name.
I'm sure you'll have a very interesting story to tell me.
He gives a smirk, and you can hear the gathered Sun Dragon troops enthusing, much to the same effect, but he allows you to pull him, and a few of the scouts follow to the side.
Caleb will like pull them over to like, I don't know. I guess, does his tent have like a setup for like meeting with the soldiers?
Not like a dedicated one, but I mean you can just meet outside of it, unless this is classified intel.
Yeah, we'll just meet out front.
A few of the scouts follow him, a few staying behind to just continue telling the story as he keeping his hands on the straps of his gun.
His name was. How can you like type his name out?
Yeah, I got you.
Like send it in the.
Yeah.
There you go. Makaj, okay. Just to make sure I'll get that right.
No worries.
So yeah, once Caleb has them gathered, he will. All right. What all did you find on your little scouting trip?
All right, so lucky for you, I have a little bit of experience with this sort of thing. We were able to pick up their trail. guessing they were a little put off by our little show we left behind in the desert. So it looks like they turned tail once they reached it. Lucky, I have good news and better news. Good news is, you were right, Your Majesty. We decided to check just to be safe, and looks like we ain't expecting any reinforcements from Bullhammer. Looks like a whole crowd of several hundred people reached our little display and turned right around and went home. But
That's good to hear.
as for what we found out there in the sand, it took us a bit to narrow down where they came from. Not a lot of prints to go off of, but lucky we managed to track them down. They set up camp at this big ass rock near the edge of the valley. Looks like they're carving into the mountain itself. Thought maybe they were trying to dig a tunnel out, but didn't see much point when they controlled the valley up till now. But while we didn't make it into the camp, doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there. One of the other scouts gives a nod. You can see he's a portly man, well-dressed, hair slicked back into a ponytail. That's right, Your Majesty. Only about, I'd say less than 15 gnolls altogether and a few hyenas. But lots of gunpowder.
That could be useful, considering our new weapons.
They both give a nod, and he gives an adjustment. But, I will warn you, some of the gnolls at the camp are a little, freaky looking.
How so?
They're, big. Bigger than any gnoll I've seen. Looks like they got giant blood in them. But, he gives a shrug. Whatever it is, they look like they're the ones in charge. Must have been why they didn't come with the ones that went after us. If we're gonna go up into the camp, I think that's gonna be our biggest problem.
Well, sounds like we'll need some good old-fashioned overwhelming force.
That's, gonna be a problem, sir.
Yes?
I don't know if the gnolls are smart enough to do it on purpose, but point is they've done it smart. There's, defenses. Good ones. Palisade, walls, and only about a 15-foot gap for anyone to squeeze through. If we bring a whole army with us, we're gonna end up bottlenecked.
So we need a way to get rid of those walls. Which we might have one, depending on how long it takes him to fix it.
They kind of look to each other, but the silvery-haired man kind of gives you a nod. It's either that, or we need a small group to go in and take care of it.
Anything else were you able to get any idea of what they were digging?
Nah, I don't think they speak a lick of common. Whatever it was, though, it's deep. The mountain would rumble every so often after they brought gunpowder in. Looks like they're trying to go deeper in. Not sure what they're looking for.
Well, I will take all this under consideration. Good work, all of you.
They both give you smiles and bows. Yes, Your Majesty. Yes, Your Majesty.
Enjoy some well-needed time at camp.
The two of them grin and kind of nudge each other, looking like they're already scheming for something.
I will be gathering everyone with the new guns, just to make sure we're all on the same page with them.
Yes, sir. I'll Keep my schedule clear.
Many of our shooters are obviously more experienced with bows or crossbows than these kinds of weapons.
Lucky enough, we've seen him enough in action to get the basics. Run a few drills. I think we'll be all right. And he adjusts the rifle he's carrying.
All right, all of you can go.
They all give a salute before dispersing out into the camp.
I guess Caleb will find. Why do I always forget his fucking name? Volpine.
All right.
Yeah, he's gonna try to find Volpine and Goody.
Noted.
I say it like that because I know the past 2 times I said Goldie.
Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate the effort.
So I wanted to be like, it's good. So I was basically telling myself, Goody.
Goody, goody. With your new intelligence in hand, you head deeper into camp. And you find that, to their credit, Goody appears to have taken the orders you gave Volpine on board and is actually already running a few drills. You can see he's brought a few of the Tibadran riflemen a little further away from camp to essentially take periodic shots into the forest so he can judge their accuracy with them. The drill itself appears to be relatively routine. You can see that he is indeed carrying one of them himself, and walks the troops through the reloading and firing process. However, after another volley is let loose, he gives a satisfied nod, but before he goes into the forest to check the accuracy, he turns and sees you approaching and gives a nod to the troops. All right, reload at ease. I'll be back with you. You can see that Volpine is sitting on a cart nearby, smoking a cigar, and he just gives you a nod as you approach as Goody closes the distance, leaving the 3 of you in a sort of loose triangle in front of the cart.
Good to see. He'll look to Goody and be like, it's good to see the initiative.
Well, I had my orders, sir.
Do you think all of them are more or less on the same page?
Yeah. Like for them, there are a lot of things, but stupid ain't one of them. Mostly just gotta walk them through how to load them. Other than that, they're not half bad shots. I feel like they're never going to live up to you, General. He kind of rubs the back of his head awkwardly, but doesn't respond.
From the stories I heard of other people who use them, apparently they are best used in groups.
That's right, sir. You can get a small group who's skilled enough to hit a good mark, but unless you really know your weapon, I'm afraid your best bet is fire as many of them as possible and hope one of you hits something. He gives a wry grin.
Have you talked with the scouts from the Knoll camp?
I have, just to pick out a few I know among them who I think would make a good shot. Why?
So they told you what they found, right?
Something about giant gnolls
Pretty
trying
much.
to dig into a mountain.
That sounds about right. Palisades and stuff like that.
Yes, sir. It's a pickle.
I was hoping we could maybe get. I was hoping maybe we could get that old cannon we stole fixed quickly. That could be useful for breaking those defenses.
all due respect, sir, I'm not sure that's wise.
Why do you think so?
Volpine looses a billow of smoke into the air and leans back in the cart, seeming like he's taking advantage of not having anything to do to get pretty zooted. It could take us days to lug that thing all the way across the desert, Your Majesty. Not much point wasting time and ammo to knock down a wall that you and your little companions could take by yourselves. There's only, 15 gnolls and a few hyenas? Afraid you can't do it yourself?
Well, you know how it is for us to be agents. Why? We should always try to stack the deck and that's much in our favor.
Oh, that actually is also part of the problem, Your Majesty. If we send the army to take it, we don't know what it is exactly they're looking for down there. Whatever it is, he kind of looks around before leaning in to whisper to you. You really want to take the chance of a Tabadron finding it first?
I guess you're right.
I follow your orders, Your Majesty, but if you're wanting me in charge, that's my best judgment. Volpine's right. It would take us days to get the artillery out there at all. We don't have the ammo to spare, wasting it on 15 gnolls.
We could take them.
And I'd sooner trust you and yours to be responsible with whatever you find over. And he hears a volley of gunfire behind him, and he kind of visibly creases his brow and looks over his shoulder. I don't recall telling you to fire yet. You hear a few laughs from the firing line as they appear to have gotten the hang of it enough to go through the process of loading and firing themselves, and are now just having fun with it. Exactly.
I feel like we still need to have contingency, if that's what we go for, in case something goes wrong.
Well, I actually do have something for that. Our scouts were able to get close enough and not be seen, even with the null sense of smell. Why not take a force small enough to infiltrate? You and yours head in first, take out the gnolls, and see what it is they were digging for. And if that fails, or you get the job done and need us to clean up, sounds like they got a lot of gunpowder. You'll need extra hands to carry it all back to camp. We can help you with that part.
I guess we could. I guess that sounds like a plan. We could try to. Maybe this could be a good time to take our 100 new gunners out.
Sounds like a plan, Your Majesty. Shall I
Okay,
send word?
We shall gather them as soon as the others are back. We'll
Yes,
have
sir.
We'll have most of them stay behind while me and them go forward to try to, at the very least, create an opening for the rest to get in, if nothing else. Just depending on the situation.
He gives you a smile and nods his head. Sure deal, Your Majesty. Anything else you need from me?
I was just going to say we shall see if they are back. If Lucian and them are back tonight, then we will head out in the morning. If they're back tomorrow, we'll head out the day after that.
Yes, sir.
That should give us plenty of time to prepare everyone. Trekking in the desert is going to require significant amounts of water, I'm sure.
Lucky for all of us. The scouts say the dig site is actually not too far from here.
I do still want them to fix that cannon. I think it will play a use at some point.
I'll ensure it is done, Your Majesty. You have fun playing with the animals. And the nose while you're at it.
Maybe that's what I'll use the night lock on. The nose.
Oh my god, Jer.
What?
I mean, to be fair, I would argue that is, if we have to bandy, I'd say that's still better. Remember, most of the Barbarian army is conscripts.
True.
Oh, no. I meant having the gnolls eat the berries.
No,
and then throw the gnolls at the conscripts.
Okay. I see. So you're going for like a high score of unethical. I get it. Sorry. I didn't mean to undersell you, General.
He's not a general yet. He's on his way, but he's not there yet. If he keeps us up, the
Didn't he wish to be a general?
He did.
Yes, but because of the way the wish spell works, it may not have kicked in a directly observable way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to find out.
Basically, it is or will be a fact of reality, but it remains to be seen what the exact process of getting there is.
Yeah, maybe he just has to commit more war crimes first.
Oh my god.
Hey, he is a good Yogren. That's how they function.
Wasn't your whole thing, I'm not my dad?
To be fair, though, this entire party constantly fluctuates between I don't want to be like my family and I want to be just like my family.
I'm not going to be like my dad. I'm going to be better than my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what that entails,
by
I don't know yet.
Apparently, when it comes to war crimes, by better he means he's going to do them even more.
They will be more, what's the word, humane.
Oh!
Humane!
Courses is way more humane than just shooting and conquering them.
Tell me, how do you commit humane war crimes?
Well, when you have... Remind me again, Matthew, how many troops do we have at our disposal at the moment?
Like for the Alliance?
Correct.
Just a second, I do have it written down, I just didn't have the document up.
I think it was like 500 something at best.
Like, how do you commit humane war crimes in an age before laser-guided weaponry?
Now that all of the Tebadrians are regrouped, your army comes to a grand total of just a little over 700 men.
Compared to 9,000.
Yes.
Yeah. This is definitely humane.
Mm-hmm.
Plus that, or we send all of our troops out to die, or we sacrifice a few animals, kill most of their guys to give us a better chance.
I'm pretty sure the gnolls are like living, thinking.
They are, yeah,
They are.
Well, not for long.
And y'all say Caleb was bad. He was
And
just
No, like I said, I'm saying all of you collectively are
Like-
the worst.
What
Where
counts as, what's the word? You just said it.
Sentient?
Sentience. Yes, what counts
You're
as
extra gilly
sentience?
today.
Bunch of fucking unethical dingbats, a lot of you.
Yo, I didn't do nothing.
I've had a rough week.
We'll get to you.
desecration
Dr. Moreau.
of the dead of mine.
Yeah. We'll circle back to you in a minute, Dr. Moreau. In the
I will
meantime,
be shocked if we get through this. If we get through this, the Barbaresian War without Lucian desecrating corpses at some point.
Hey,
Oh,
those
she already
corpses
plans
are
to
good.
desecrate
Those
his.
corpses are good for fighting.
Yeah, she already plans to
It's not-
desecrate Barbarous.
Not unethical to recycle.
ironically, Zevra is
fact-
by far the most straight-laced. The worst he's
In
done so far is
case-
psychological warfare, and even that was unintentional.
I argue that recycling is better.
We can do this all day. All of you are gonna have your fucking booklet of excuse. I want to see the novel all of you can write to excuse why your characters do the horrid shit they do. But in the meantime,
It's
Caleb.
likely it's horrible.
Hey, Caleb was told you cannot be a king and be good.
Very true.
Well, I'm not a king, so.
You're gonna have to do some bad things at some point.
Speaking of,
Gotta get your hands dirty.
anything else you wish to do before General Goody takes his leave?
I guess Caleb will just have Goody to make sure he goes through like all of the gunners with his to make sure they're all on the same page.
Okay.
Seems like he's got that well in hand, so.
All right.
And Caleb will go to where the cannon is being fixed and see if there's any kind of assistance he could provide.
Okay. Noted.
Let it never be said Caleb is not a hands-on king.
Yeah. That much I can definitively give you. I will give you that.
You're a hands-on king, you'll be hands on the button.
that was good.
That was good.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him.
All right, Zephyr. 5 silver for a tinderbox in Rosewick. And speaking of Rosewick, Lucian.
How's that hangover?
As you awaken, Lucian, what do you wish to do?
We're gonna go see Dr. Knight and then we're gonna leave.
Okie dokie.
I have one last question before we leave.
Okie dokie. Making your way out into Rosewick, you can see that Agnes has already taken a seat at Miazdu's bar and is laughing and joking with him. It's the most talkative you've seen Miazdu in a while, actually.
Fondly, I'm not gonna interrupt them.
But yeah, even without you interrupting, when she sees you come down, she gives a smile and pats Miazdu on the side of the face. Also, some of the most intimate contact you ever seen Miazdu accept that wasn't from family. Alright, sorry, baby bear, I gotta get going.
I knew you guys would get along!
Get along. More like she's paying my mortgage.
I'm sorry, what?
I decided to sample some of the local goods. See what all the hype was about. Caleb sees something special in this place, figure it's gotta be the alcohol. And let me tell you, and she takes a swig of what you recognize as the pumpkin cider from last night.
Oh yeah, that's just good, right?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna just throw my arms around her and just give her the biggest, squishiest hug I can muster.
It's the alcohol she's sampling, all right. Sure.
She offers the bottle back to Miazdu, but he just puts up his hands. Keep it. But tell your friends up in the north that they're free to come by. Official bar of the Western Alliance. I like it.
I love it!
Alright, see you around, baby bear. You can see one of Caleb's cousins scowl at Agnes as she walks out, but Agnes just sticks her tongue out at her.
Tilt my head a little bit. Which twin is it?
Roll insight.
Okay. As a twin, come on!
Yeah.
As a twin
Roll insight.
myself.
Having a twin isn't a superpower.
It is, actually!
Oh my god.
Ask any twin. They tell you it is a superpower.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a superpower to argue over who came out first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and nothing else.
3 minutes. Those 3 minutes are very important to Lucian. Okay, insight. I think I have a +8. No, I have a +9. Ooh. Ooh, 13 + 9.
You can see that it is Fenya, and she is not dressed as Fenka. It's just Fenya actually doing her job.
For once.
Fenya.
Once you're outside the bar, Agnes gives a chuckle before setting you down. All right, where are we going now?
We're gonna go see Mama real quick, and then we're gonna go back to camp. Yeah. Oh wait, we need to probably tell Zephyr we're leaving. I'm gonna message Zephyr.
All right.
I'm gonna say, hey Zephyr, making one last stop at Dr. Knight's. Meet me at the tree, let's say in an hour. Perfect.
All right. Zephyr, you received that message shortly after purchasing your tinderbox. Real quick before we cut back to Lucy, is there anything else you wish to do, or are you just going to head to the meeting spot? Okay.
Let's go.
All right. In that case, Lucian, you and Agnes make your way back into the depths of Rosewick and approach the apothecary. You can see that the door is propped open by a suitcase, and Dr. Knight is currently in the midst of gathering her belongings. And when she sees you approach, she gives a smile and shoves a hand into her cloak to grab something, but crawls over the suitcase to approach you as she does so. Morning, sweetie.
I just had a couple other questions right before we leave. Also, I didn't know if you finished those letters and I can maybe deliver them for you.
Yeah, and indeed, you see that what she was reaching for was the other letters, and she holds out 3 more to you.
Cool. I'll just glance at it for 2 seconds and put it in my pocket.
Now, she kind of dusts her hands. I'm in the midst of packing, but what can I help you with?
Well, thought kind of occurred to me recently. You know how we had established that the lady in white can control the Icar?
Also, real quick before she answers, Austin, a little bit of echo through your mic, so thank you. Dr. Knight gives a visible wince at the lady in white even being mentioned.
I know, I'm sorry.
But she does give a slow nod. Yeah?
Well, I have a little bit of concern, obviously, because we're gonna want to, encounter her eventually. Do you think that she still could control us even though we're stabilized?
Sweetheart, I think she could control you even if you weren't infected at all.
How do you mean?
She frowns in thought for a minute before gesturing for you to enter the apothecary as she finishes packing. Seeming like she'd rather discuss this in private.
Yeah. Is it okay if Aggie comes? I want her to know too.
Agnes kind of crosses her arms and nods, and Dr. Knight looks to her before giving a kind of shake of her head, and yeah, that's fine. If she's going to be helping y'all, then she deserves to know.
Yeah.
As you clamber over the suitcase and enter, Dr. Knight appears lost in thought. She always seems to get like this whenever the lady in white is brought up. Most of the Concord, in fact, you've noticed does.
I'll put my hand on her wing. I'm right here.
I know. That's actually part of the problem. See, sweetheart, I know you've got it in your head that Dr. Kaloum is responsible for so much of this, but he doesn't need to do anything to control Lucifer. The lady in white does that for him.
She frowns.
You have
It's
to
not.
understand, for all of us in the inner circle outside of Kaloum, we have no choice but to bow. You haven't met her. You don't know what she's like.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. So you're
She's
saying
powerful, Lucian. She's more powerful than I think any of you understand. It's ancient magic that she wields, and she's older than I think any of us can imagine. And she has this way about her. She has so much power to give you anything you want. She is quiet for a moment before looking up to you. Lou, when you came here last night, you were in such deep trouble that you were seriously willing to trust Kaloum's word, and you hate the man.
more than anything.
Now I need you to imagine for me. What are you going to say if the lady in white tells you that she can give you whatever you want? No strings attached.
She has nothing I want. I already have everything I want.
Her and Agnes both raise their brows.
What? I mean, I've already accepted Lucy has to die.
Lou,
There's no way around it.
it's not just that, Lou. Look, beating around the bush isn't going to get us anywhere. You drink a lot for somebody who has everything they want.
Oh.
That's what I mean. If you have any weakness, anything you want, she'll exploit it. And she's powerful. I worked for her for over a decade, and never once did she ever find something that she couldn't do. Only one thing was there ever that she wanted that she couldn't get for herself, and she was working to make sure she could get it. If she says that she can bring you your family back, I really believe she can, but you can't trust her.
I'm not wanting to trust her. That's why I'm asking about this. I don't want her to control me or my friends.
No, that's what I'm saying, sweetheart. You don't understand. She can use the Ichor to make you bow, sure, but she's gonna use your soul to make sure you obey. None of us on the inner circle were ever infected. She made sure all of us stayed clean. But none of us ever stood up to her before me. And even I was too much of a coward to do it to her face.
Well, I'm not afraid to tell her, fuck you. From what it sounds like, she's responsible for what happened to Lucifer. Not Kaloum. Or at least that's what I'm getting from you, right?
It's worse than you think. See, the Ichor lets her control bodies, but she's never been able to control minds. At least not through magic. Kaloum, Lucifer, and I would always put our heads together. We were in the inner council. We had no choice. But sometimes it came up. How powerful is she? Does she have weaknesses? Kaloum understands technology. I understand science. And Lefakir understood magic. But none of us could ever find a weak spot. Whatever it is she does, better than anyone. And she makes hard eye contact with you. You won't obey her because you don't have a choice. You'll obey her because you do. And you'll regret it.
I don't want to. I'm asking, how can I resist it? How can we all resist it? I guess not have vices?
You can't have...
I mean, it sounds like even something as simple as love would be a weakness.
She raises her arms into a helpless shrug.
So, what can we do? Don't tell me what we can't do. What can we do?
What you can do is run. Leave Yav behind. Rebuild somewhere else. That's what I'm doing.
I'll cross my arms. You know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Any other suggestions?
She runs a hand through her hair and leans against her stool. I know y'all in this little traveling party of yours don't trust each other much.
We're getting there, I think.
Well, you're gonna want to get there fast. Once they figure out I've left,
I'm buying you as much time as I can. I didn't tell Lucifer anything. They don't know.
It's not me I'm worried about, sweetheart. Like I said, they're gonna want to finish their business here before they go after me. What I'm saying is, y'all need to trust each other. All of you. Because if she finds a weakness in any of you that she can use to sway you, she'll use it.
Do you think we could use that? Make her think that we are weak, but we are not?
You wouldn't be the first one to try. You would just be the next one to fail. She's...
Not
I'm
exactly.
sorry, huh?
Not exactly. Not exactly encouraging as well.
I'm being honest with you, sweetheart.
I appreciate that, but I also was hoping for a little bit more of insight than.
Sweetheart, just because you don't like what you're hearing doesn't mean it ain't insightful.
I'm not saying. I'm sorry that it sounded as if that's what I was saying.
I'm telling you the truth.
I know you are. And I believe you that she's that strong. I just didn't know if there was a way that we could.
You can't trick her. She'll know. You can't overpower her. She's powerful. Really powerful. All of us accepted that there was nothing we could do. That
There has to be. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound so stubborn, but I just can't. My faith doesn't allow me to do that.
they always said faith was blind.
Well, it must be dumb, too. But that's okay.
He, or rather she, bites her lip and the best I can give you is this. She's a lot of things, but I've never known her to use violence as a first answer. If you ask her to negotiate, she'll give you a chance.
I might have an idea, but
Please.
I'm not sure if it's going to work. I
Don't.
met her lover. I met the Emperor.
Emperor?
Yeah.
Emperor's dead.
No, he's very much alive. We met him. He's Crystal's dad, I think? Something like that? We met. And he told us a lot of things. And I think if they meet again, possible. Maybe that's what she wants. That's what she needs, I think.
That's what she needs. I don't know what she bothered dealing with me for.
Sometimes people don't know what they need. That's what you told me. See, I was listening.
I'm glad. She
I know you
grabs
think that I
her
don't
mask.
accept. I know that you don't think that I accept the answers. But just because I fight against it doesn't mean that the answers are any less true.
I'm proud of you, sweetheart. Now, let's just hope it sticks this time. And she pats you on the face before stowing her mask in her robe and gathering up her bags.
I just need you to stay safe.
I know. And I mean it when I say I'll come back if you need me. But one bit of
That's
advice
why-
I'll give you is this is a woman that has made kingdoms bow to her. King Tebadra, General Gyoger, Barbarous, none of them even met her, Lucian, and they know to be scared of her.
I didn't say I wasn't scared. I'm terrified out of my fucking brain. Are you kidding me? This woman is terrible. Look at everything that she's done. But
Say that now.
what bravery is, right? You're scared, but you do it anyways.
She requires a special kind of bravery, sweetheart. A brave man can look at a monster that he knows it's a fight he can't win and take up the sword anyhow. But it's a different kind of bravery to look at everything you've ever wanted and say
It's
that
not
it's not
real.
worth it.
It's who? Okay. Let me put it this way. She could offer everything that I want. My family, my love, everything. But if I accept it from her, what's the point in that? I didn't work for it myself. What's the point in that? It's not real.
Nothing's real, Lou.
Don't start that philosophy shit with me, Dinah
No.
Knight.
I'm sorry. Let me.
My feelings
It's easy
for
to say. When
I know
not
it's
in front
easy.
of you.
I know. It's gonna be fucking hard. It's harder than it is to probably kill my brother. Because I'm gonna have to face her afterward.
And what if she tells you she can bring him back?
As much as it kills me, I don't want him to come. Like I said, it's not the same. Like, this Icker, I'm not the same Lucian as I once was. Yeah, albeit a little bit better, maybe worse, who knows? We're still finding out. But,
Yeah.
you know, they brought back, yeah, I got the same alarm. They brought my whole family back. All of them. He did. And I'm gonna have to march in there and send them back to Marzana, where they belong. She can offer all she wants. But
For all our sakes, I hope you're right.
it's not worth it. I can't speak for everybody else, though.
I'm sorry that I wasn't a braver woman.
You were brave. You were braver than you give yourself credit for. You know. You made it through, didn't you? You're going to get back to your home with the person that you love, and you're going to be able to have a wonderful life like you deserve.
Like I deserve.
I know.
I may not know the Lady in White all that well, but I do know y'all. Those letters. I poured everything I think y'all need to hear into them. Make sure everyone gets them.
I'll nod.
I'm sorry that I can't just give you your answers, sweetheart.
No, it's okay.
Let me
guess
finish.
okay.
I'm sorry that I can't just give you your answers. But I can give you this. You're not sick. None of you are. At least not with this. Kalum always said that whatever was wrong with y'all was already there long before I ever met you. That's what you need to overcome. She might be able to control your bodies as long as your blood is black. But you'll always control your soul. And I'm sorry for the things all of y'all are going to have to give up if you intend to win this.
Yeah.
She sighs and takes up her bags. Well, I guess this is it. Would you... Well, I already put it into ink, but would y'all mind giving my love to the boys?
Of course.
She gives you a smile. And taking up her bags. Tell Caleb that he can do what he likes with the apothecary. I took everything I need for my research to make sure nobody takes it. Everything else is... I'm sure y'all will find a new doctor.
Maybe I'll be the doctor.
She gives you a smile, and then, first lesson, learn from my mistakes.
I'm trying.
Silver, black, blue, doesn't matter. It just isn't worth it.
I agree.
She looks to Agnes, who gives her a respectful nod. I'll make sure she does. Thank you. Well, better not keep the boatman waiting. She gives a smile.
Can I have a hug?
She immediately drops her bags and scuttles towards you to give you a hug.
Big squishy hugs.
Be safe, darling. All
You
y'all.
too. Please just keep under the radar.
Believe me.
Dr. Marula.
She gives you a playful salute. I intend to. I'm going underground. Far underground. She takes up her bags, and with a final look to you, I love you. As I love all my kin.
Love you too.
She bites her lip like she wants to say more, but shakes her head and slips
look
out
at
the
her.
door. Agnes lets out a heavy breath the moment that she
same.
clears out.
Same.
Shit.
Yeah.
Ray's not gonna be happy about this.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like I just got told something I shouldn't have been told?
Well, get used to it. You're in the shit show with me now.
She holds open the door for you as the two of you head back into town and keeps her voice low as you guys head out to the tree. This whole time, you had talked a little bit about what you found in the Underdark, but I assumed it was just like a weird cult thing. I thought the Lady in White was just a person, you know? Just some maniac trying to conquer Yav, you know? Get in line, right?
I wish it was that easy.
But all this with the Emperor and the Ichor and whatever else it is she's capable of. What in the name of the gods is she?
I don't know. I think she is a very, very sad person.
Well, that's not good.
You know what they say? Hurt people.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
I'll take her hand.
She smiles and, keeping your hand in her grip as she makes her way to the gates of Rosewick.
Pick a tree, any tree.
You're gonna tell everyone, right?
Yeah, of course.
Good. She's right. If any of you slip, we might lose. We need all of you together.
Like I just said, I've already accepted the truth.
She looks away. You're not quite sure if she believes you, but when she speaks, it's a slight shift of the topic. It's not just you I'm worried about.
Yeah. You and me both.
If she's anywhere near as powerful as that little goblin makes her out to be, she really might be able to offer everyone exactly what they want.
I mean, she's already been doing that. That's why the Scar Concord became a thing. They each wanted something, and they got it from her.
Yeah, but Scar Concord's something we can fight. If she gets to any of you, I think that's just it.
Like I said, I think it's going to be very important to tell them what we just learned.
She gives a nod. this point, Zephyr, waiting by the dead tree, you see Lucian and Sundragon exit Rosewick. Sundragon looks a little perturbed, but is putting on a tough front and gives you a somewhat strange smile as she approaches.
Lucian smiles, but it doesn't quite reach her eyes. Hey, Zeph.
Hey, figured you'd be halfway back to camp by now.
This is easier.
Well, I was thinking that you'd taken a while.
Well, I had an interesting conversation with Dr. Knight before we left. I'll give you guys the rundown once we're there.
Thanks for tagging along, Zeph. I know she won't tell it to you, but it means a lot to her.
I kind of give her a play rib. I was going to say thank you.
She just raises an eyebrow.
I was! A high pitch just I go through 3 different monitors.
Well, let's go give everyone the good news.
Best news ever. Alright, I will cast Transport via go to the tree.
Yep. Alright.
So I would like to say, just for funny ideas, right as they're coming back, Watson is just walking around with a dead chicken in his hand, like, how can I use this?
Oh my god.
Sure.
And they just arrive, and then he walks past with a dead chicken. He's holding it by the feet, and Lucy just goes, do I even want to know?
And he's just muttering, poisons, trajectory.
Yeah, again, do I even want to know?
Caleb, as you're helping with the cannon repairs, you see Watts is trudging out of the forest back towards camp.
Is there any rolls to make on helping with that?
No, I just since the troops themselves already said they can do it, they just need time. I'm just basically saying you helping makes it go faster.
Okay.
Normally I'd have you roll, but you don't really have the proficiencies or tools for that, so.
You're inspiring them to work better.
Yeah. It's like if this is a game, you're like a great engineer. Like you're like a great engineer in Civ.
You're a supervisor.
Yeah.
Caleb knows what it needs to look like.
Speaking from experience on building shit, not enough.
I know what it needs to look like. It needs to look functional.
Yeah, you see that broken pole between the wheels? Yeah, that there's your problem.
Yeah, there's the problem. But Caleb, you see Watts's grab a bit of poultry from the livestock pens and start kind of looking over it curiously as you see at the dead-end tree on the north end of camp, Zephyr, Lucian, and Sundragon, in that order of visibility, return.
Hey, it's like you said Zephyr, Lucian, Sundragon, right?
Yeah, it's basically Sundragon being tall and blonde is the most obvious, Lucian second most obvious, and Zephyr you would almost miss.
Hey, it's like largest to smallest.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's large. No, it's large, medium, and small.
No, it's large, medium, and tiny.
Large, medium, and kid size.
No, you can't even call it kid size. It's
Dude, have you seen the kid sizes at places?
Right?
Kids are getting bigger, man.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean like the fucking the kid size of like McDonald's is smaller than this fucking cup I'm drinking tea.
No, yeah. Like, I always wondered if it was just because I'm getting bigger, or if the meals themselves are just getting tinier.
it could
Dude,
be.
they'd be
both.
skimming me
Very
on
true.
the fucking. They'd be skimming me on the fucking soda when they do it themselves.
That's
What,
why I
always
never
like the
get the
fucking-
small. I
What,
always get the large.
75%?
And don't ask for ice because they fill the entire thing with ice.
Yeah, no, I make a point to not get ice in my
It
drinks
depends on
anymore.
what you order.
Yeah,
See,
but like that does affect the flavor actually.
Yeah, but you asked for light ice, and they put a big thing of ice in there.
Anyway.
Yeah, point being, that's a problem for any modern characters.
No, it's a problem
I'm
to eat
having
it.
trouble functioning without coffee.
Agnes looks to Zephyr and Lucian as you exit the tree, and I'm gonna go get Ray.
That's not a conversation I'm looking forward to. Awesome.
If you want, I can just tell her myself.
No. I would prefer it coming from you. No offense.
If you say so. I'll warn you though, she's bitchy whenever she finds out that someone knew something.
Well, tell her that you know something, but you that I would prefer me to explain that.
No, that's
I
my
think-
problem. I'm worried she's gonna bitch at you.
Well, that's fine.
She gives a shrug. Alright, I'll grab her.
She doesn't scare me. She totally does.
She raises a brow before giving a nod at your correction.
I like to picture this. She doesn't scare me. Oh, really? Turns from behind her.
That is kind of the energy, but yeah, no, Sun Dragon does seem to agree that Autumnfall is one intimidating bitch.
She doesn't scare me. She totally scares me.
Yeah, seriously, she's like 8 tons of mean in an 8-pound package.
My 4-foot bundle of dynamite.
Alright. See you guys in a minute.
Alright.
Caleb, as you busy yourself with the cannon, and busy yourself with messing with your chicken. Bud caught that.
Does fucking Caleb see him messing with the chick?
Yeah, all of you see each other at this point.
He's
Caleb
just standing
is
with
just-
a group of handling a chicken by his feet. Oh my god.
Caleb just
I
like
haven't fed it anything yet, at least.
just looks at what's just like, you know that's for eating, right?
He knows.
Yeah, technically, you would be
That's-
correct.
That's his point.
It's for eating, not whatever you're eyeing it down for.
Lucian just comes around. Do I even want to know?
It's ammunition.
What?
No, it's a chicken.
Yeah.
For now, it is a chicken. But in the future, it could be ammunition.
Ammunition?
If we're
What are you
shooting
gonna do?
chickens,
Use as
we're-
eggs as you're gonna use eggs as ammunition?
I just pictured him with 2 chickens.
I want you to know how hard that was to deliver. Seriously.
Oh my goodness, my stomach.
Thank you.
Yeah, after all this buildup of you guys like trying to create the perfect strategy for invading Tauradonna, you just start egging the walls. What are you gonna do next? TP it?
That's one
Get
way.
bar versus swirly?
Was this? I'm not sure if you know this, but I don't think egging somebody is an effective act of war.
No, you don't get it. It's perfect execution.
You hear
Joke
a Tavadrin at the cannon just shout out, "Boo!"
Joke jail.
keep that up, and there will be an execution.
One of the Tavadrins high fives you, Caleb.
Oh.
You guys are exhausting.
Mass.
Seriously though, I will pull out 1 of the little nightlock berries. If it comes down
What are you
to
gonna
it.
do with that?
Feed it to the chicken, let it die, and then throw it at the city.
Kill Gil. How
Who's
Howie?
who's
Who?
Gil?
Yeah,
Fuck
who's
you.
Gil?
Fuck you. First of all, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, you know that chicken is dead and can't eat, right?
Is
No,
it?
no. We grabbed it from the livestock pen. It is alive. Clucky.
I thought you had a dead chicken for some reason.
Oh. Those don't keep for very
Yeah,
long.
to be fair,
Listen, I
to be
went
fair,
to
chickens in this setting, you probably couldn't tell the difference anyway.
it was like Lucian. I thought you would know what the difference between a dead and living chicken.
Honestly, up until now, I don't think I've seen one up close.
Yeah, she's a herbivore, remember? She only eats.
I mean, I've not seen a chicken. I've eaten chicken before.
She's eating meat. It's a miracle.
Not recently, but yeah, I used to.
Yeah. It was just a thought.
I think you know a person.
You think?
I've lived for 176 years. You think I was a freaking thing for
Vegetarian.
vegetarian for 178 years? No,
Oh, so it's a fad for you.
it is.
You can hear several of the pages of the cannon snicker.
It's not a fad.
Well, you just said that you just started it recently. How long before you decide it's been long enough and you don't do it no more?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's in her rebellious teenage years. It'll
Fuck
pass.
you.
What a surprise!
I'm your
The
adult.
Lepikir doesn't have ethics.
Fuck you.
Hey, don't tempt him with a good time.
Ugh. You're gross.
After a few minutes, Agnes and Autumnfall join you. And
Okay, they're here. So finally, somebody's sane I can talk to.
Autumnfall quirks a brow and looks to Agnes, who just smiles. But Agnes does wave off the Tibetans and the cannon. Alright, you horrible bunch. Go make yourself useless somewhere else. We need a minute with His Majesty. They kind of give like mock salutes. Although, given that Sun Dragon promptly returns it, you imagine it's just an in-joke. And once they make themselves scarce, Sun Dragon leans on the cannon and sighs before Autumnfall
Caleb's
puts her
just
hands
like-
on her hips.
Caleb's just like, careful, it's not fully fixed yet. We don't want to break it worse.
Yes, if you slow down the repair of our only artillery battery, you obnoxious oaf, I'm going to take it out of you. Make you carry it. Honestly, it might be faster.
She has a point.
Whether you're volunteering.
She goes to answer, but Autumnfall just raises a hand. She would love to, believe me, I know. But I need her fists directed elsewhere. Speaking of, and she looks to you, Lucian,
Ugh.
I'm told you have important intelligence.
Ugh. Okay, get ready for a wild ride. Now I'm gonna tell them everything.
Okay. Lucian.
Only because
fills you-
I don't have the energy to repeat it.
I get you. Lucian fills you all in on what she was told by Dr. Knight. Dr.
What
Knight
all was
has
she
left
told?
Yav. What's that?
Okay.
We're
What all,
fucked.
what all was she told? It was a
Oh, I'm
lot.
Well, I'm literally about to. Yeah.
Dr. Knight has left Yav, and while she is willing to return if any of you ask for her, she is making herself scarce.
As we do this,
because-
she's gonna be passing out the letters to everybody.
And yeah, she does so. She hands you each your letter. Dr. Knight has written a letter to each of you in warning of the threat the Lady in White poses. And Lucian fills you in that, at least according to Dr. Knight, who was in the inner circle, second only to Kaloum in rank to the Lady in White, tells you that the Lady in White, while she is magically gifted beyond what a typical wizard would be, the greater threat she poses is to you on an individual level. She will attempt to lure you, make you promises, and promises that she is genuinely capable of meeting even. But, of course, that loyalty will always come with a price. Nobody is gifted something by the Lady in White. It is always an exchange. The greatest threat the Lady in White poses to each of you is temptation. She will make you offers of the exact sort of world you want. The same sort of world that lured the Concord into working together despite their hatred of each other. For some, it was the resurrection of the dead. For some, it was the changing of the self. For others, it was simply an enforcement of the rules they wanted. Regardless of their reasons, the Lady in White proved capable of making reality whatever it is she wants. There's nothing Dr. Knight or any of you can do to stop that. All you can do is resist when temptation is placed before you.
Can I fill in the rest?
Please.
She informs you that I think the biggest thing is that we need to resist what she is trying to offer us. That seems to be her biggest thing, is that she can offer us everything that we could ever want. And that means money, land, everything. Family. And she will do everything to try to lure us. Which means that we cannot break.
I guess it's good to remember, do not make deals with Chernobog.
Sun Dragon gives a snort, and Autumnfall actually looks at you with an appreciative smirk at the reference. Indeed.
Considering how many people make deals with him, it is probably the greatest weakness of all Yavik people.
I would say the weakness of Yavik people is being Yavik.
And for the lack of a better way to put it, being human.
Speak for yourself.
Well, even elves is a, I guess you could say it's a phrase.
Are you
Being
saying only
human.
humans can be tempted?
Oh, we're definitely doomed.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
No.
Anybody can be tempted.
It's a phrase.
I don't know
saying
what
I'm
you're
only human or something like that.
You're an elf. How does this make sense?
It's
You got
something weird.
You got the problems with humans, Mr. Elf?
Guys, can we focus?
Wow, I'm Mr. Elf now. I like it. It's kind of catchy.
Better than what's his.
It really is. Anything's better than what's this.
That really was a stupid ass name.
Yeah, it really is.
Really, what was your mother thinking?
I don't know. I feel kind of bad.
I know something that stupid probably came from his father.
You make a point.
No, sadly, it was me. I misused a spell.
That explains everything.
Does he even remember that?
Oh,
Well,
yes,
he said he
I
remembered it.
know.
Yeah, nothing about the
Oh.
spell. It just makes it to where, like, as far as everyone is concerned, his name was always what's his, but yes, he would remember using a wish spell to change his name.
And he did tell us this before.
Yeah.
But Autumnfall crosses her arms and looks over all of you. Well, I am reasonably confident that you will be able to resist the temptation. My concern, as mentioned, is with Yav at large. Each of us have spent our entire lives out for our own political gain. If she begins to extend offers to deepen bonds with the Concord, that poses a threat to the Alliance.
Well,
The
they've
way I
already been doing that. A lot of the people in the Concord have gotten what they want. Like, I mean, look at Lucifer, for example.
Yeah, but there's some kingdoms that haven't decided yet. They're waiting to see who's going to come out on top. They want to join the winning side. We have to convince them that's us.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would probably also help to show them the true cost of a deal with the lady.
Mm-hmm.
How do you propose we do this?
Egger beasts.
Okay.
From the events with the last ball, entire city being scourged by beasts, and
Yeah. That was all
maybe
them.
even stories of what happens to Tauradonna after they made a deal.
You truly believe that Yavik people will be motivated by the suffering of a kingdom outside of their own?
If they believe that that suffering will be inflicted upon them.
I'll be moved because it could be them. If
Autophologist.
they'll turn on one,
prob-
why wouldn't they turn on
The
somebody
problem
else?
with Yavik kingdoms is they always try to convince themselves that it couldn't. They have to be convinced that it very much could be.
Speaking from experience, I think you're giving everyone around here probably more credit than I think they deserve. Even Waterfall actually looks surprised at such a dour statement from Sun Dragon, who just looks at the ground kind of bitterly.
I'm actually inclined to agree here. I mean, look at Yav. We are in war constantly because everybody is after only themselves.
If we try to scare them into joining our side, they're only going to join her faster.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I think is going to motivate them is seeing that siding with them means they pay for it.
I mean, I wish we could
That's
tell
not
people
what I
about
said.
Lorcan. I mean, look at what happened to Lorcan.
And
You guys weren't there for this, but a good friend of ours died because he made a deal with her.
This Autumnfall actually quirks a brow. With her directly, the lady in white.
I think he
No,
made it
through
with
Cologne,
Bloom.
I thought as much.
but
And
on her orders.
she looks to you, Caleb, with a nod towards the elves. That is exactly why the distinction matters. They may be convinced that we can threaten the Concord, but if the Lady in White can convince them that we are not a threat to her, and she is so inclined to negotiate with them directly, we may have more kingdoms turn against us. And to clarify, I know Sun Dragon prefers to think with her fists, so I will use something a bit more useful. And she taps at her temple.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
The point is not to scare them into simply thinking they will suffer if they side with the Lady in White, per se. The point is simply to convince them that they don't stand to gain anything by joining her.
Well,
If we
that's
say
not.
that we'll simply kill them for joining her, they'll side with her to protect themselves. But if we say that any reward they gain can be taken away, then we remove her power. Unfortunately, that is a difficult premise. I'm not sure what exactly this mechanism of hers is to provide these people with what they want. Whatever it is, it needs to be destroyed.
It's a strong magic. It's,
Not to mention
she's
her power.
more capable. She is so capable of so many things, way beyond any. Like, even she was saying Lucifer was right there, and he would know. Even this magic is so ancient. Even
Yeah, I was gonna say the words that y'all used earlier was that she was a master of ancient magic.
it is.
How do we know it's even magic? Someone as powerful
It's
as her
magic.
could probably make many things happen without even needing any magic.
It's magic.
Well, actually, His Majesty may stand to make a point. At the very least, even if she's not doing it herself, through this Dr. Kaloum, she clearly has technological acumen, and if it wasn't for the gracious turncoat nature of Dr. Knight, she would also stand advanced chemical warfare. I suppose we simply have to hope that this good doctor of yours didn't make any bombs before making herself scarce. She kind of rolls her eyes dismissively.
We see it, at least part of the equation would be we have to erode her power. We have to remove her pieces. Take them off the board.
Problem
Autumnfall
is, how do you
smirks
do
at
that when she... What problem is, how do you do that when she literally can give anything that you want? People are going to want things. People always want things. That's the hubris of man, is greed.
Well, as mentioned, we simply have to offer them more.
All I can offer is, if they try to align with her, they'll just end up dead. Because that's what happens when you align with her. Larkin was proof of that.
Lorcan is proof that one should not make deals with Dr. Kaloum. Besides, if we... She looks to Agnes, who quirks a brow, but Agnes suddenly gets a kind of upset expression. No, come on. You know I'm right. I think it may be best if we keep these details between us.
Okay.
Agnes is right that if we tell everyone the truth about the Lady in White, they're only going to join her faster. The last thing we need all of Yav to know is that this enemy we're fighting against is seemingly unstoppable. Ideally, they should have no idea about who the Lady in White is or what she can do until we're already ready to checkmate. Which means, and she looks to you, Caleb, we're going to have to lie.
There's one thing
And
Tibetans are
steal.
good at is lying.
Her smirk widens into a full-on mischievous grin. But her expression does fall a little bit as she glances to the Tibadrons that had gone away from the cannon and are now just chattering with each other over drinks with some sun dragons nearby. You understand what this means, don't you? You know that there may be battles coming in our future that we simply cannot win. It will further the war. We will accomplish strategic objectives, but every soldier on the battlefield is going to be convinced that you're leading them somewhere they can win. Are you prepared to lie to them?
I will do whatever I need to. I will do whatever I need for whatever my kingdom needs, and I believe it
Mute
needs
yourself,
this Concord
please.
gone.
Yeah, a little bit of background noise, Lou.
Oh, me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I thought I turned it down.
But Autumnfall nods to you, Caleb, but Agnes crosses her arms and looks away, kind of down at the ground. It doesn't feel right. They deserve to know.
I agree, but if they do know, like she said, they're only going to join her faster. Think of all of the people who want something, that have worked their whole lives towards a goal, to learn that they could just get it with a blink of an eye. How dangerous could that be for somebody? You have to think of the greater good here, Aggie. I know it sucks to lie. I hate lying. But we have to do it.
I think you're forgetting something as well.
At this, attention turns back to you.
A lot of the people that are here with us right now have lost something to the Concord and the Lady in White. They're not going to turn to something that has caused them so much pain, whether it can be returned or not. The pain was caused.
If this Dr. Knight's word is to be trusted, the Lady in White may have the power to simply restore whatever it is the Concord took to begin with.
It's true.
But it won't fix the pain that was caused. It was still taken.
That doesn't matter. that doesn't matter to them. As long as they can get back what was lost, the pain will
Indeed.
ease in time.
If grudges really prevented our people from making alliances, we wouldn't be standing here in the same camp. And she kind of glances to Caleb. Not with like an active malice, but you can see a slight twinge of like anger. His people have spent generations stealing from mine. And we take theft very seriously. Our artifacts are precious, our ancestry valuable. Yet, here I stand.
How
They
many
really
did
think
they
that-
bring again?
What's that?
How many did they bring again?
Counting her, 8 people.
With with an army of all of 8 people. Surely a true commitment.
At this, she actually gives you a smirk, and I do not feel it necessary to bring more than is needed.
Says you.
That is one thing. That is one thing we cannot have against this opponent. Never underestimate them.
Her brow kind of furrows, but she doesn't vocally disagree with you. But looking to you, she crosses her arms.
As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the Concord, there is no such thing as overkill.
We may not have to lie to the troops.
At this,
If it
Agnes
comes,
looks at you, hopefully.
as far as I'm concerned, we don't tell them anything, and you don't have to lead them into a fight they cannot win. We'll fight ourselves. They'll follow if they wish. But at that point, it will be their own will following and not just, blindly following.
I still don't think it would be a good idea to inform anybody. If we're gonna do anything, I think it's just not say anything.
That's what I just said. We're not going to tell them.
So we just make it their fault instead of ours.
But if we go into a fight that we cannot win,
Look, if I'm
we go
Tabajan,
ourselves.
look, I'm Tabajan. If I have anything to say about it, there will not be any fights we cannot win. We always stack the deck in our favor.
Sweetheart, that's very hopeful of you, but that's a little impossible. There are going to be fights where we're gonna lose. You know that, right?
She is correct. If our enemies are anywhere near as powerful as we believe they are, where there's going to be times where we must simply make sacrifices to accomplish a strategic goal. I believe I am inclined to agree with your plan, that cutting off their resources, the head of the Hydra, I believe the Perusians say. If we remove the members of the inner circle, at the very least we deny them resource.
Not to mention, once this fight is done and Barbarous is out of the way, it should, if I remember my geography right, should open the rest of the continent to my thieves. They've
What do
been
you
our
care
main
about?
blocker.
Of course.
So we could certainly have an impact on their resource.
Quite. I am simply forewarning you that she is correct. Not every fight is going to be able to be simply won with overwhelming force. You're a young king with a small army of disloyal thieves. And even if the Western Alliance all came to your aid, which, and she looks to Agnes, I will pointedly remind you, we're not.
I know.
Well, no, she was more directing that at Agnes since Blackthorn didn't show up.
Yeah.
You're going into this at a disadvantage no matter what you do. Ideally, if you wish to be the king you hope to be, she shrugs. Sacrifices must be made. And I think we would both rather that your pieces cooperate with you to get into the positions to be sacrificed. She looks to Sundragon. You're not Yavik. Not by birth. You don't understand what it's like here. We can't trust these people to follow us out of the goodness of their hearts. Not against this. Not
Oh,
against anyone.
I'm gonna grab for her shoulder. But that doesn't mean that we won't stop fighting for these people.
You're okay with this?
We don't have a choice.
This is wrong, Lucian. They deserve to know.
If they know, they could hurt themselves or hurt people that they love. More people will hurt if they know. If they find out. What if we do tell them? Okay? And we lose half our people because they're walking into a fight that they know that they can't win. And they just want to run away. What
Then they
then?
were already
Make
lost.
that choice.
At the very least, it would not be wise for them to know without us having an actual path to defeat this
No.
foe.
I agree with Aki. They do deserve to know.
Autumnfall shakes her head and pinches her nose.
I'm sorry, but she's right. It's the right thing.
No, she's attractive.
I'm not even thinking about that.
If people
What I'm-
turned goats, then they were going to do it to begin with.
And maybe it will help them fight harder. We tell them the truth. We say, this
I
is
told
what's
you
happened.
myself, Tibadrians do not fight battles we do not think we can win. If I
He's
tell
right.
them what we're fighting, I almost guarantee you more than it won't simply be half of them. I may be lucky to get even a third of this army to fight for me.
If they know the truth, we'll lose our army.
Then help me gain Gyogu, and we'll have an army.
How
The Gyogrins already turned on us years ago. You expect me to believe you can buy their loyalty?
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, I can.
Elaborate.
What is the one thing Gyogu is well known for?
Imperialism?
Violence,
They
war
want
crimes.
power. And if we can show them that they can gain power by defeating something that is supposed to be unbeatable, that'll give them exactly the ego and manpower that they're wanting.
And how exactly are we going to convince them when Kyogre's general is on our side?
Not to mention, Gyogur's currently what's left of their military is wrapped up in a civil war.
Yeah, we'll have to take care
So,
of
I mean,
that.
if I had to guess, I imagine if he just simply kills the current leader, then he becomes the leader.
in
No,
theory,
I don't think that's gonna really.
I do agree that the Gyogrins may respect that.
and I also have a plan to deal with more. I don't mean for it to sound derogative. Common people. They are upset because of the elven superiority and not being treated fairly. I plan to eventually change things.
Autumnfall kind of scoffs and rolls her eyes, but
Yeah,
Magnus actually does give you an appreciative smile.
Lucian looks a little unsure.
Most
Actually-
elves live longer, but if you take down our lifespan and comparatively expand theirs,
Yeah,
there's
I've
no
heard that-
difference.
I've heard that elves live longer, but like when they get hurt, they don't heal as well or something.
Agnes kind of smirks at Autumnfall, who bites her lip and looks away. You notice, once again, the scar over Autumnfall's eye. Yeah. What's? I like it. He's right. If... It doesn't really matter why they're following us, I guess, but... As long as they know. If you're comfortable with it, I'm down to help. I never liked Yoger much anyway.
And then as far as Tabedra goes, you don't have to tell your troops anything if you're worried that they're going to leave until we have the power to make them think that they can win.
All I know is as long as I'm able to ensure that they get to rob and steal all the way across the Concord, they won't ask too many questions.
If we can
Only
guarantee them that.
addendum, they can't take anything from my house, obviously.
I will not make promises I cannot keep.
Caleb, I will personally. Never mind. It's not worth it.
Fine. But I'm warning you now, Caleb. And Sundragon looks down to you. I know you're just going to say you'll kill me and be done with it. But I'm a messy girl to kill. Nobody here. Not Tabedrin, not Sundragon, not Autumnfall. Nobody gets sacrificed for you. If you think we can't win unless we step on somebody else, we think of a new plan. Or you have to go through me to execute it.
All I can say is I will do whatever I think is best.
And so will I.
You will. Autumnfall kind of rolls her eyes at Sundragon's bravado, but nudges her to get away from Caleb. Then
I will also do the same. Kind of usher her away.
we are in a loose treatise, then. The troops need not know anything. We do not need to lie, simply keep them ignorant. Until, and she raises a hand to stop Sundragon from interrupting her, such a time as we're confident that the war is going in our favor. I am interested, Colonel Gyoger, to hear what exactly your plan of ascension is. We could always use more elves in the Alliance. If we could get Gyoger on our side, it would be quite the asset.
It'd also be good if we could convince our other allies to actually participate.
Well, once we get rid of Barbarous,
Well, I was planning.
Blackthorn will fight.
You think?
That's what they're mostly waiting on right now. They're too scared. How could they move against someone like that?
Lucian joins in that glancing.
Can you blame them? Everything you know now?
Autumnfall just rolls her eyes. Sundragon looks to the ground. If you say so. You can see there's a little bit of bitterness to that tone.
Oh.
They will join. They gave their word on that.
There's a lot you don't.
Word means squat around here.
Well, maybe if I keep
There's a lot you don't understand or know what's going on. So don't make promises that you can't keep.
I aim to keep my word a lot, so maybe we can shame them into saying that the Tabedrons are better at keeping up our word than they are.
Honestly, that actually might be effective.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing!
Very well, then.
Let it never be said that I am not an honest thief. Ask me no questions, and you shall receive lies.
Then there is one other matter of concern. The Winter Ball.
I really want to go to that.
Oh, and I'm inclined to agree.
I believe I need to go to that. I kind of sent a message to the Tsardom that I would.
Well, it's being run by the Concord itself, and I think we need a plan.
Exactly. We'll be marching into the den of our enemies, and I think we're in agreement we cannot let them use this as an opportunity to gather more allies. We're
Girl,
outnumbered
wait
enough as
till
it
you
is.
see my dress. Later, my tent later,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yes, because of course your dress is going to
You
keep them from joining our
knows how to
enemies.
mind business.
I believe the Tsardom, I believe they are holding their little wedding at the ball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Autumnfall and Sundragon give a nod. Sundragon actually does get a twinkle in her eye. I always wondered when those two would finally get it over with.
Me too.
I have a feeling that their new little alliance may become a bit of a centerpiece in this game.
Yeah.
Very
I want to be
astute.
there for them.
They completely control the Blackened Sea. Whoever's on their side has complete control of the ocean, at least around here.
I think we need to be there for them.
I already sent word that I wish to speak with their leader because, as you know, the Tsardom and Tepedra have a little bit of a troubled history.
Sundragon kind of chuckles a little bit, Autumnfall just giving a wry smirk. I would not worry too much. Wyson and I have a bit of a history, and honestly, if anything, she may simply be impressed by the audacity.
I sent a messenger
I can't wait to meet her.
asking if I had sent a messenger asking if they would mind if I attended, so that maybe we could talk.
Excellent.
But and hash out the issues, come to an agreement that works for both sides and all that.
How far off
Patrons
is the
maybe.
Widow?
I believe it's like 2
It's
months.
right after Barbarous. It's like it's just a little bit northwest.
Not where.
Yeah, when.
When.
Oh,
Yeah, but I
when?
believe it's like 2 months.
Sundragon kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, Caleb, with a gentle smile. That was pre-coronation, bud. I know you've been busy. And Autumnfall crosses her arms and tilts her head up. By my recollection, we have 17 days.
Oh shit.
Well, then we need to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Quite. In fact, I was going to propose a plan.
I'm listening.
I'll warn you, you're not going to like it. But as I said, sacrifices must be made.
Well, I
in
hate
that
to
case-
inform you. I hate to inform you, but it turns out I don't like a lot of things.
I've
These
noticed.
might
Kinda-
help.
He gives a smile, but it doesn't mean I won't listen.
We're not
Yeah.
sacrificing anything. Or
No,
anyone.
no need. I will pull out a few handfuls of the nightlock. This might help.
No,
when this playing out
You
tight.
you throw that away.
Don't be so hasty, but relax. In fact, there is no need for anybody to die. That's actually why I think you're going to have a problem with this.
I'll cross my arms. I'm already getting there.
She puts her hands on her hips and looks over all of you. As it stands, we have completely cut Tauradonna, the capital of Barbarous, off from any supplies, any reinforcements, and I believe they've gotten the memo at this point that we will simply slowly whittle their defenses away as long as it takes for us to take this city with as few casualties as possible. Like it or not, unless he decides to come after our camp, he will always be dealing with us on the back foot, which puts him at a disadvantage, more than I think he cares to admit. I say we leverage that. If we, and she looks to you, Caleb, spend the next few weeks here attempting to slowly whittle down the city, the ball will happen without us, and the Concord will gather allies at an unprecedented rate. All of Yav will turn against us, and we likely will never get reinforcements from Blackthorn and Shadow Lily. But I also agree that a head-on assault, while I do think maybe more effective than you believe, is likely not the best solution either, unless we're desperate.
This is why I had my thieves try to find secret ways in.
But I believe there may be a third course. Because we may be stuck here as long as this siege happens, but so is barbarous. I say we put up a flag of truce.
Mm-hmm. Purses her lips.
Say that we will allow him to leave the city and attend the ball to regroup with his allies, as long as we can simply return to this state of affairs after the ball has concluded.
And who's to say that he'll, not bring back troops with him?
Simple. She smiles at all of you, her grin wicked and malicious. We convince him to surrender.
How do you propose that?
Just something to keep in mind. To get all these people to come here, I kind of promised that they would get to loot the city.
She gives you a nod. I understand. And I have no intention of denying your people their unfair pay.
Unfair pay is an honored tradition of the Bajan armies.
She looks to all of you one by one. I believe you've all made it clear to me at this point that you're willing to do whatever it takes to win this. Zephyr, you're clever and straight to the point. Caleb, you're brutal and direct. And Colonel, deadly nightshade. A subtle touch I can appreciate. And not to mention your ability to control the dead. She gestures to Lucian.
Well, don't forget, we also have you, a Grand Master of Magic.
You flatter me. Correctly, but you flatter me. We coax him out of the city by putting up a flag of truce to negotiate a surrender. We are in no business to be making such demands, of course, but I believe simply the gall of it alone might lure him out. And then we capture him.
Well, that would certainly be a deceptive move.
Agnes kind of gives a slightly uncomfortable look.
I have to say, that was almost Bajan of you.
Let it not be said that I downplay what needs to be done. And she looks to Agnes with a stern expression. The rules of war here were written by my ancestors. As the new Queen Autumnfall, it is my place to dictate them.
Ooh, loophole. Instead of using a white flag, use an off-white color, maybe cream color. It's not breaking any rules, but it was never a white flag.
I do like the way you think, Colonel. As it stands,
We certainly do have them we certainly do have them in a precarious situation. We've effectively cut off their supply lines from the train.
I know this is not the takeaway.
It seems that the Bullhammer is not going to be coming to their aid thanks to our little display we left behind.
Oh, excellent.
Seems the gnolls at the camp and the people of Bullhammer all got the message. Maybe we should do some things to try to make their position a little more clear.
What do you mean?
Well, actually, I don't know how long it'll take to fix it. I was going to suggest we fire a shot across their bow, as it were. But I don't know how long the cannon will take to fix.
The troops have told me that it should only take another couple days.
I could also go through my spell book and see if there's anything I can do to help with that.
Then it seems we're in a loose agreement. We are in no position to be negotiating for their surrender, but there's no reason for them to know that. We will say whatever we must to convince him that we have a chance of winning this in a straight fight. Lure him out and strike while he's vulnerable.
I know this is not the takeaway, but really, the only nice thing you have to say is about me raising the dead?
She quirks a brow at you. I can take it back if you prefer.
She huffs.
She smirks at you.
So if we're aiming to capture him, I have an idea.
I'm listening.
Under the cover of night, a few of us can go out there and dig a big pit halfway in between the wall and our encampment. We'll move the dirt while it's dark so they can't see us. Do y'all have any people that can put a glamour or a mirage over the hole so that we can lure him to it?
I'll have to look through my book, but maybe? I know, like, Greater Illusion could probably do that.
Autumnfall tilts her head and considers. She seems like she's just genuinely trying to think if any of her troops came with illusion magic pre-prepared.
I can prepare that. Just need to sleep.
Well, then it appears you have no need. She smirks to you. What's his? I quite like this plan. Then we're in agreement.
I also have some ideas of how to try to project some strength.
Do whatever you feel is necessary, Your Majesty. Guys, is this really what we're doing?
Do you have any other plans on how to defeat them in less than 17 days?
Without killing innocent townsfolk?
Frankly, I think even if we could kill innocent townsfolk at this point, even that would be impressive.
Oh no, I could kill them.
As I said, impressive. She smiles at you.
We're not killing innocent people.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why we're wanting to just go for barbarous. Trickery or not, it's the most direct
Can
and
I just
life-saving
point out
way.
that we don't even know if he's in the city or not?
At this, Sun Dragon's eyes light up. That's it. Look, I'm not comfortable with this because you're luring him out thinking that you're just going to talk and then you're just going to attack him. There's no honor in that.
And
Well,
knowing
think of it
him,
this way. If we try to attack them directly, it will kill many of our own army. It will kill many of theirs. It will probably lead to the killing of many of their people. Or we simply try to capture one person.
At least then they could put up a fight. But what I'm saying is, didn't
Is
that
there
guy...
is there no honor in? I know there's honor in battle, but is there no honor in? Well, I guess showing mercy to the people of the city.
Of course there is. But there's not honor in deception. But I don't think we'll need it. That guy, the mercenary, he said he could get us into the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just, instead of going to find some rebellion that might not even exist anymore, why don't we just find Barbarous? Do what you guys did before. Find the head of the snake and cut it.
I'm all for that.
and it would save our reputation.
She gives a nod, and
If
Autumnfall
we destroy that, what's to keep the our enemies from using that against us?
At this, Autumnfall does kind of look considering, and Agnes looks to her with an almost pleading expression. You know he's right. If we show the world that we're not ever willing to negotiate, that we'll just trick you at every turn, nobody's ever going to want to work with us again. We'll never get allies.
That is the truth. It would.
And we'd be worse if actually be the same or worse than the lady in white if we're just going to deceive and trick.
hate that you have a point.
Autumnfall at this looks kind of surprised at the sudden turn and looks to Zephyr. Are you comfortable with this? I know infiltration is a specialty of yours, but surely you'd prefer a plan that does not require putting yourself at risk.
I mean, I already have plans, you see, for this man. So I would actually prefer it if I was there for the kill. You understand?
Well, she was directing that to Zephyr. She seems like she's just trying to get somebody to agree with her. You're muted if you're talking, Zeph.
He may have fallen asleep.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, we have gone quite over the time.
Yeah.
No, it's okay that we went over the time. He's just
Yeah, I wanted to get to like a good end point.
no,
Doing it
you're
mid-conversation didn't feel right.
No,
Yeah.
you're
But-
fine.
But yeah, just make sure you wake him up to end the stream. But anyway.
What's his will look at her? I do get your plan, but we do have to be very strategic about where we cut corners. I do not believe this is a smart one.
I like the idea of a temporary truce. But the problem is getting back here. Well, I guess I could transport us. And we could just leave our troops here to just kind of hold down the fort while we're at the ball. And I could just
Exactly.
transport us.
There's no need for the common folk to attend with us.
Precisely. And I can, let's see, there's 1, 2, yeah, I can do it, easy.
Lou. Agnes puts a hand on your shoulder. You're giving her inches. She's taking miles. I am not! You are. You're outnumbered.
I'm trying to help.
Either way, our end goal is just get rid of Barbarous as quickly as we can with as many lives saved as possible. Agreed?
Agreed. Very well. But if you fail, we're going with my plan.
By all means, yes. That is agreeable if he will fall for it, if he's even in his city, as it was pointed out.
Thank you.
Very well. Congratulations, Osli and Queen Sundragon. I suppose you get to keep your honor, for whatever good that does you. Agnes kind of glares at her, but pulls Lucian aside to kind of keep her in arm's reach and gives the rest of you a grateful smile. All right. Caleb, see what your man can do. Whatever he's got, big house, mansion, castle, palace, whatever. If he can get us to it, I know you guys well enough to know Chernobog himself wouldn't be able to stop you once you decide you want him dead.
There might be another way into the city.
Agnes looks to you
It's
curiously.
got walls, but no roof. I know Lucian has her flying.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my rocket boots.
Only problem
could-
with going,
I
yeah, I
can
was going to
carry.
say the only problem with going high is that you're very easy to spot like that.
Not at nights. Well, dang it, rocket boots flame. Dang it.
We should have a plethora of ways to get into that. My thieves have been scouring the wall for openings, and we have someone who's been inside.
I like that idea. I like the idea of somebody who's been inside.
Very well. Then I suppose this is our scheme. We assassinate Barbarous, and hope that the rest of his kingdom falls with him. Fine. I can live with that. As
I
long as he
almost
gets a
wonder if
chance
it
to
would
raise the
be
sword.
better to. Wonder if it would be better to simply capture him. Problem with cutting the head off a snake is that the body starts writhing around wildly afterwards.
Believe me, I
At
have
this,
my plans for this man.
At
Yeah.
you, Caleb, Agnes looks even happier and gives you an enthusiastic nod that tosses her hair. Yeah, we could totally capture him. That's even better.
No.
You can kill him later once we subdue the city. For now, we get in, we knock him out.
I say we see what can be
You
done.
know he's not gonna go down without a fight. You know
If
that,
we
right?
can-
And
If we can capture him, we will. If not, then we'll simply get rid of him. Either way,
thank you, Caleb.
aimless, even if the body arrives randomly, it'll be aimless.
As long as he gets a chance to fight back, I don't care.
Well, I didn't say I was necessarily going to give him a chance to fight back if I have anything to say about it.
We'll have a fighting chance.
That's all I'm asking. Just a chance.
He'll have a weapon in his hand. I can give him that.
Agnes puts up her hands. That's good enough for me. You understand this man doesn't deserve the mercy you're extending him.
he really doesn't. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, maybe not. But I didn't say that the weapon will be there in life. He might have it in his hand before he dies, but that's about it.
Agnes kind of furrows her brow and turns her head away.
Very. How mid-guardian. Let him die with a weapon in his hand.
Guess some
I
of
don't
my
think
old
he'll
blood
be
rubbed
going to
off on
Valhalla
me.
anyway. I don't think he'll be going to Valhalla anyway. He's not worthy enough.
It's not about whether you're worthy. It's about whether you fight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll let about anyone in there as long as they died fighting. They could have killed 1,000,000 babies and they'll still be allowed in as long as they died fighting.
Agnes kind of scowls at you, but
Yeah, the Lucian scowls too.
Regardless, I doubt we're going to be able to kill him that quickly.
good.
He is a warrior above all else.
I'm going to give it my best shot, if you will.
I know.
I'm not planning on being nice.
Get me somewhere with a view and I'll certainly take some years off his life. Let's put it that way.
I think you're all wrong. Yav doesn't have to be like that. I think if you give it a chance, you can make it better.
This Lucian just kind of, her eyes soften and she smiles. I really hope so. That's the Yav I want to live in.
Yav will become better. That is Yav I want to see eventually.
Me too.
Agnes gives a fervent nod, and to your surprise, Autumnfall kind of looks to the side, but gives a almost unseen quirk of the head of a nod.
Where instead of wars, things will be settled with, like, tournaments. No armies
Not
needed.
everybody's going to agree to that. You know that, right?
Maybe not.
Worth a shot.
But why wouldn't they?
Maybe
Why-
things will be determined by who can steal better.
Like, it could
Maybe
be
we
part
could
of the
just fry
tournament,
your
yeah.
ass
I mean,
with fireballs.
Isn't that politics? Just trying to figure out how to steal things without actually doing things illegally.
Autumnfall holds out a fist for a fist bump.
Caleb will reciprocate.
Wow.
Like I'm telling you, I think that the Bajans will make better politicians than you think.
She kind of gives you a smirk. Autumnfall rolls her eyes, but crosses her arms and sighs. Very well. Then I suppose we're in agreement. Barbarous dies. Then we plan for the ball.
And then we get yogurt.
Ray, you want to see my dress?
Sundragon gives you a nod.
I do want. I want this over with enough time for me to stop by home first. A couple things I need to collect for the ball.
I can make another portal if you want.
And dig it. I'm gonna need a new
You'll need-
outfit for the ball too.
Who wants
These
to
are
make a
things-
trip?
We need to deal with this first. This is something that needs to be dealt with whenever we're actually about to leave.
Well, but I'm pretty sure they don't
I
want me
already
showing
have
up to
no
the ball with no shirts.
I
I
mean,
cannot
you
wait
could.
to see the governor brought low by a batch of fools.
We're not fools. We're Osleys.
She gives you a smirk.
She smirks
Suppose you
back.
are.
And that's the political game. You got to look your best. You got to act your best, even if you're a piece of shit. Because honestly, most of them are pieces of shit.
We're all pieces of shit, Caleb. Some shits are better than others, though.
Anival kind of wrinkles her nose and, seeming to just simply decide that the meeting is over, turns away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn to Agnes and give her that shit-eating grin.
Hey, I'll have you know that my birth family made its wealth fair and square.
I'm sure
Agnes
they
just
did
kind
their
of stares
best.
at you before.
Let me do this in my most condescending voice I can. I'm sure they did their best, Caleb.
I said the birth family, not the other one.
I know.
I'm sure they did their best, and that's all that
I mean,
matters.
fair and square by the Bajan standards.
Yeah.
We weren't rich when we started.
I'll have to ask one of the troops around here what you guys' motto is again.
I said the Bajan standards.
All right. Well,
Don't
They
judge
have
our culture.
standards.
Hey, don't judge our culture. That's culturist.
you just said she kind of quirks a brow at you. What was that about killing babies earlier?
I didn't say I did it.
Or who's to say y'all
Hey,
haven't?
admittedly, everything I know about it comes from random books we acquired.
Wait. You've read books?
Be nice, Lou.
I'm being
Well,
nice. I'm just
he is
being
gonna- he-
shitty.
Oh, that's you being nice. Never mind. Be an asshole.
I read all kinds of books. I read the books about the Viking raiders. I read the books about pirates. I read the books about
So fairy
the
tales.
thieves. I read the books about the thieves guilds.
Sundragon's gaze does soften a little bit, and she kind of pats your head.
Lucian gives him a smile. I'm just playing with you, Caleb.
Yeah, and it's fine. Just, be nicer, I guess. And speaking of, thank you. I know this isn't how you normally do things, but I have to believe that we can be better.
No, you're right.
I
If we
want to
start
believe.
crossing lines, where will it stop?
She gives you
I
all a
know.
grateful smile and a nod. Come on, Lou. Show me that dress of yours.
You bet.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yay! Good session, everybody.
Good session.
So,
I like that we
We
went a
changed
little later.
plans about 20 times this session.
yeah, but hey, we got to a good spot.
Hey, sometimes you gotta get through the mud.
And we got a relative plan now, at least.
Yeah.
I thought we still had months till the ball.
Yeah, no, but it's whether it's been corrected a couple times. So, like I said, I just played it off as like, oh yeah, you've just been busy since the coronation. I know like downtime is a little hard to keep in mind, but yeah, it's been a while. Check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Down for maintenance at the moment, but soon to be resurrected from the grave like a filthy necromancer who's about to not commit war crimes.
Yeah, no
But-
war
I'm
crimes.
pretty
see.
sure assassination of leaders might be a war crime.
Oh, to be fair, What's is and Sundragon seem of the mind that you can try, but it's still going to be a battle, so... More of a duel than an assassination.
Just keep lucky until I roll a nat 20 on a sneak attack with the sniper goggles. Wait,
And
hold
your
on.
assassination.
Yeah, the assassination.
Just
so I
do me a
got-
favor. Don't
that's-
blow off his head. I need it.
And giant killer. Because he is a bit bigger than you.
No, I don't think Caleb has that.
Yeah, you're thinking of Colossus Slayer. That's a Vaben.
Oh, costly. Oh, my
And even then,
bad.
it doesn't do that. You're thinking of
And then
Fury
you
of the
make a
Small.
range attack. The wearer gains +2 bonus on each sneak attack damage dice.
Anyways, check it out.
So wait, if I get a crit with assassination, doesn't that double the damage?
I believe so.
So if I crit, does it like double from the crit, and then assassination applies a double to that result?
Unless assassination specifies that it makes it a critical, because critical doesn't stack. But if it just says it doubles it, then yeah.
Where is that damn feat?
Check out our link in chat to join our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly. Support our episodes posted on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Podcasts, the iHeart Podcast Network, wherever you happen to get your podcast from. You can probably find it there. For our audio listeners, catch us live on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on twitch.tv/Odd Tornado Productions. Check out Odd Tornado Productions official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our Human Rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Killer5. That is 5 with a PH, don't get it wrong. If you enjoy what we do, please support us on Patreon. That link to be posted as well. On Ko-fi at kofi.com/Odd Tornado Productions. And follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TornadoOdd. The TNO are capitalized if you want to get immediate updates whenever we go live, as well as updates on everything else we're doing. Thanks everyone at the tables for what you're playing. Thanks everyone at homes for what you're watching. And we'll see you all next week.